In this video, we're going to talk about how to make pixel art for Godot. And pixel art may look intimidating, but honestly, it's one of the most approachable art forms I've ever tried. And you'll be just fine making pixel art for your Godot games, even if you have zero art experience. In this video, I'll share all the things that made my pixel art look great, including this one setting that if you don't change it, even the best pixel art is going to look terrible in Godot. So a quick upfront roadmap for the video. We'll talk about choosing the right software for your pixel art, choosing the right color palettes, styles, resolutions, some pixel art tips like Linework and so on. And then we'll talk about the Godot pipeline, importing your assets, sprites, tilemaps, autotiles, collisions, and all that good stuff. If you're already drawing pixel art and you're just here for the Godot stuff, no hard feelings, there's chapters in the timeline, just feel free to skip ahead. Otherwise, stick around because we're going to cover everything. So a little bit of context. I've been on my pixel art journey now for about 2 years. I make and sell pixel art assets on itch.io. And if I can get to this point of making pixel art, I want to be absolutely clear that you can do it too, because I'm not a trained artist. I'm not skilled, particularly in drawing or anything like that. It's just knowing the tips and the tricks and practice. So you've got this. Let's get into the video. So first up, what do we actually want to draw pixel art in? Now it can take some time to figure this out, so we'll just go through it real quick so you can understand which software to use to draw your pixel art. There's a few options, so let's go through them nice and fast. Pixel is free, browser-based, zero setup, great if you want to try drawing pixel art without actually committing to anything. Sometimes I use Krita, but Krita's more of a digital drawing program. It's not really set up for pixel art. I use it for backgrounds and things like that, but it's still possible. Probably not recommended for this. Sprite is a free and open source old version of Aseprite. You have to compile the software yourself once you download it, which can be a bit of a faff. If you don't want to spend any money, then this is probably your best option. And then there is Aseprite. And Aseprite is what I would recommend, it's what I use. It has absolutely everything you could ever need for pixel art. It's super easy to use, but it does cost something like $20 on Steam. But if you're serious about pixel art, then the amount of hours and time and value you'll get for your money with Aseprite, I think it's worth every penny, and it supports the developers. My recommendation, go and download Aseprite. Next, before we even start drawing, we have to consider a color palette. And a color palette is so important. Without it, your art, no matter how well drawn, probably won't capture the vibe that you're looking for. When I was a beginner, my art was visually chaotic, and it wasn't because of the drawings, but it was because of the colors. I would just use the default color palette in Aseprite, and the art would look really not great. The fix is to go to a website called LowSpec. They have hundreds of community-made palettes that you can filter by mood, color counts, and vibe. You can choose one that fits your game and then download it and import it straight into Aseprite. My recommendation would be to keep your color palette quite small, maybe 16 up to 32 colors. And that may sound limiting, but it actually makes the color in your art look a lot more intentional. And when your art looks intentional, it looks good. And a very quick color theory lesson, because it's worth knowing, when colors are opposite each other in a color wheel, they create contrast. If they're next to each other in a color wheel, it creates harmony. And that's most of what you need. Don't pick colors at random, start picking them on purpose. Next, we need to decide which resolution you're going to draw your pixel art in. The classics are 8x8, 16x16, 32x32, sometimes 64x64. I would recommend you choose 16x16. There's enough pixels on the sprite to be able to have some movement, but you'll also be able to produce your drawings quicker than 32x32, and it's not quite as challenging and restricting as an 8x8. You also need to decide very early on what the perspective of your game will be. Will it be a side-on platform, side-scroller type game, or will it be top-down like Stardew Valley? And once you pick a perspective for the game, it's super important that you stick with it for everything that you draw. Don't try and change perspective mid-project. Trust me on that one. If this video has been useful so far, please leave me a comment down below and let me know what you're working on. No matter how early, I'd love to hear about it. Leave a like and subscribe because I'm a young channel and it really helps me grow. All right, and now it's drawing time. But before we get to my favorite technique, let's talk a little bit about line work. When you draw your lines in pixel art, you want to make sure that when you have corners or diagonals, that the edges of the pixels aren't touching each other. These are called doubles, and they make the lines look bumpy and jagged, and they're pixels that aren't necessary. Every pixel in pixel art should be intentional. And to make this really easy, Aseprite actually has this button where you can just tick it and it will automatically do these pixel perfect lines. It's a small change, but it makes a real difference. Just leave it on. Also, when you're drawing, zoom out. And I know that might sound obvious, but it's not obvious. Pixel art looks completely different up close to when it does far away. You'll probably be drawing it up close, but when a player is playing your game, they'll be viewing it from far away. So that's the version that matters. In Aseprite, you can actually press F7 and this little pop-up preview window comes up, and then you can get a good view of how it looks without having to scroll back and forward with your mouse. Use it consistently, and it saves you zooming out at the end and realizing your player character just looks like some sort of blob. Okay, my favorite technique. I think for the first year of drawing pixel art for me, I was drawing all of my detail first and building up around the detail. And then I heard this tip that changed how I draw. Block out the silhouette of the pixel art thing you're drawing first. And silhouettes are so important for so many reasons. When we're working at such a small scale in pixel art, one thing that can define what we're looking at is the shape of it. So it's so important more than anything else that you get the shape right. So creating a silhouette can do this. And once we've built the silhouette of the shape, then you can start adding in the detail. One last rule is consistency. Try to be consistent in all of your sprites. And a big one here is outlines. For example, if you have a black outline around a treasure chest, make sure you also have a black outline around the plant. If you have a black outline around your player, have a black outline around your enemies. If you choose not to have outlines, then just skip the outlines altogether, but don't do some on some things and not on others, because it will make it look like the pixel art is drawn by several different artists and you lack that consistency in your game. There is exceptions to this rule, but it has to be intentional. Oh, one last thing before we jump into Godot. We have to get the sprite sheet out of Aseprite. In Aseprite, go to File, Export, and then Export. Check your settings look right, and then hit Export. And that's it. You've got a PNG sprite sheet sitting in your files. Pixel art is steeped in video game history, so enjoy the process of being part of that. Make the art, enjoy it. It doesn't have to look perfect. It just has to be functional for your game. Take inspiration from other people's art. Don't plagiarize, but take ideas. If you'd like to check out my pixel art, I'll link it in the description down below. Okay, here's the full walkthrough of adding your pixel art into Godot. First, we need to simply drag our exported pixel art PNG into the Godot file system. And then if you haven't done the tip from the intro yet, now's the time to do it. Go to Project Settings, turn on Advanced Settings at the top right of the window, navigate to Rendering Textures, and set the default texture filter for Nearest. For static pixel art, we can use the Godot node Sprite2D. Add the node, select it, and then find the texture property in the inspector. You can drag your sprite or image straight from the file system into that texture. Now your sprite sheet probably has multiple frames or images, and this is where you can use the edit region to define and drag this box around exactly the part of the sprite sheet that you want in your Sprite2D. For anything animated, characters, collectibles, enemies, we can use an animated Sprite2D. In the inspector, find the SpriteFrames, click the drop down, New SpriteFrames, and then the animation panel opens up at the bottom. Click Add Frames from Sprite Sheet on the grid icon, select the sprite sheet, set the horizontal and vertical numbers to match your frame grid exactly. Select the frames for that animation, hit Add Frames, and then repeat for each animation that you want in Godot. One more thing on animation. The animation player in Godot is really powerful, and instead of just animating the frames, you're keyframing different properties. It allows you to do much more than just loop a simple sprite frame animation, and at some point you'll probably end up in here, so it's worth knowing that it exists even if you're not using it yet. Now, what is a tile map and why use one? Well, a tile map is a grid of tiles that you've drawn, and we can paint them into our game to create the game's layout. We use a tile map rather than placing individual sprites because a tile map is much faster and the performance is much better in Godot as well. With a tile map, we can also easily add collisions, occlusions, and navigation directly into the tiles. Add a tile map layer node into your scene. In the inspector, you can create a new tile map resource. Set your tile size to match whatever resolution you drew it at, 16 by 16, 32 by 32. And then open the tile set panel at the bottom of the editor, drag the tile sheet in, and then Godot will ask if you want to automatically create tiles in an atlas. Select yes, because it slices the whole sheet up according to the tile size. All tiles done in one go. And right now your tiles exist, but they do nothing. Objects fall straight through them. So select your tile map layer node, open the tile set resource, unfold physics layers, add an element, and then in the tile set panel, select the tiles that should be solid and press F to auto-generate a rectangle collision shape, or you can draw a custom shape for anything that's non-rectangular. And now we reach one of my favorite moments in game dev, where we can actually start painting our pixel art into our world and creating our own levels. Now, if your tile sheet is thorough enough to have edges and corners, then placing them manually can take a ton of time. And this is where Godot Autotile comes in. Select your tile map layer, go into the tile set resource in the inspector and create a new terrain set. And then inside it, you can create one or more terrains. Then in the tile set panel, go to the terrains tab, select your terrain set, and click through each tile that we want to belong to that terrain. Then we need to highlight the adjoining pieces in each tile so that Godot knows how the pieces connect. For example, here we're going to connect each piece of path, so we can just start to paint the path. Then we go back to the tile map, terrain sets, select the terrain, and we can paint it on. Terrains can be a little bit tricky in Godot. It needs a whole video by itself, so I'll link one of my favorite tutorials for this in the description down below. Pixel art is fun, so have fun doing it. It can really make your game yours and unique from anything else. If you do want a shortcut, there is loads of pixel art asset packs online, many for free, some paid. You can check mine out in the description down below. Tell me in the comments your game idea, subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed the content. And now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some pixel art to go and draw. See you on the next one.